giant orange records. Whoa, what is up, everybody? It's been a long time since I made one of these videos, but I've been pretty busy. Went on a little road trip in September on my road trip. I was in South Carolina, got hit by Hurricane Helene there. Then I come back to Florida and we get hit by Hurricane Milton. And boy, what a mess that has been here in my town of Fort Pierce. We got hit with something like 13 tornadoes, and it's just been crazy. We're lucky here where I'm at. Everything's pretty much fine and hunky-dory here, but some of our neighbors got hammered pretty hard, and we've been working a lot in trying to help out our community get back on its feet. So in some ways it almost feels kind of silly to talk about music, but music has some healing properties too. So I feel like we'll use the positive power of music to help move forward from these natural disasters. And as you can tell, maybe today I was out in the midday sun for about 3 hours, and we're handing out some supplies to the community with tarps and MREs. But anyway, I want to talk about in my September road trip, I had to stop at Atlantic Sounds in Daytona, Florida. It was one of my favorite record stores in the country. And I think the owner's name is Michael Toole. He's been there forever. The first time I went there was 20 years ago. I was 18, and me and my dad went, and he bought me a bunch of records there. It was the first time I'd seen anyone spend more than $100 on records, and back then I was really into like Simon and Garfunkel, Bob Dylan, 60s stuff, the Byrds. I think I got all like original pressings of all of their 60s albums in that one stop, and they were all like, you know, the red label Capitol ones. And they were all like $8 a piece, which I thought was like really expensive at the time. But that would be a bargain these days. And it was still a pretty fair price given that they were in great condition. I stopped there in September 2024, and I always find some great stuff. I always enjoy talking to Michael, the owner. And I'll start off with this Question Mark and the Mysterians reissue. I love this band. So underrated, so groovy, so punk. And of course, we all know the song 96 Tears, but this is the first of their 2 albums. I actually like the second album a little bit better, but they're both really, really good. Favorite track here is probably 10 O'Clock, what we're listening to on the intro here. And 18 is good. The whole thing is just so good. And this was actually mastered by Bob Ludwig, who you'll remember as Robert Ludwig, or RL, of the RL Led Zeppelin II Hot Master. So that was pretty cool. It comes with this little inner sleeve here. I ran out of plastic inner sleeves, so I'm sticking with the paper for now. But what a fun album that is, and because a original is really hard to find. Even a reissue is really hard to find, so I picked that up. He's got such a great Psych and Garage section, which continues with Nuggets 2. Now, I think this came out in 2023 for Record Store Day, but it only came out as a box set, and because I already have the original Nuggets, why would I need to rebuy those? So they're selling these separately now. And I hesitated at first with this one because it starts off with the Lovin' Spoonful, Do You Believe in Magic, which is absolutely not even garage rock, not even close. But when you drop the needle on this set, it actually fits really well. And there's quite a lot of songs on here that I've never heard before, but Do You Believe in Magic contrasts so much with the second song, which is Love's 7 and 7 Is. And then, just a bunch of like great little garage classics here. Action Woman, The Litter, Question of Temperature, Little Girl, Syndicate of Sound, I See the Light, Five Americans, one of the great organ songs of the 60s. Of course, 96 Tears is on there. Laugh, Laugh by the Beau Brummels. And the Beau Brummels were I mean, I think Laugh Laugh came out in late 1964, and they were the first American band that kind of was influenced by the British invasion, and that was a pretty big deal. Again, Stop Get a Ticket was by the Clefs of Lavender Hills. They were from South Florida. It's a cool local connection. Yeah, they're cool songs I hadn't heard, like Frustration by the Mystic Tide, Free as the Wind by the Middle Class. The Evil was another Miami band. They cover What You Gonna Do About It. It's a Small Faces song. A little bit of soul, Music Explosion. That's a great, great dance number. Black on White by the North Atlantic Invasion Force. That was another one that was new to me. Dance Fanny Dance. Going All the Way by the Squires. That one starts off the Pebbles series, which is another garage comp. You get You Must Be a Witch by the Lollipop Shop, which was early Fred Cole before Dead Moon. Then we get The Witch by the Sonics. And then it ends on two really weird songs called Blackout of Gretley and Spider and the Fly by the Monocles. But overall, it's a great one. We also get Talk Talk by the Music Machine. Really great set here. It comes with a little splatter vinyl, which, again, I ran out of plastic inner sleeves, so I'll have to order some more. Normally, I don't keep my records inside paper sleeves, but it was a really, really nice splatter on this one. And I'm really glad that I picked this up. So next we have, and I'm not looking at these before. Oh yeah, again, I'm trying to collect all the Ventures albums. I picked up 2 awesome Ventures albums in Daytona. This one is called Where the Action Is, and this is an action-packed album full of like 2-minute songs. Some of them are even less than 2 minutes. This record flies by, but it is fun. It is one of the most fun Ventures albums. And I've always said that Ventures in Space is my favorite Ventures album, but this one's a good close second, I think. I was really stunned, and it's always cool to see the Mossrite guitars on the back cover. They endorse this brand, or else, you know, nobody would ever probably be talking about Mossrite guitars. Really great stuff. You know, no matter what shape, Hang On Sloopy, She's Just My Style, Fever. They cover Lies by the Knickerbockers. Anyway, this album, not a dull moment, and it goes by in a jiffy. Another Ventures, and I think this one was from 1965 or 66. The other Ventures album I found was called $1 Million Weekend. This one has a lot more keyboards. I believe it came out in 1967. The songs are a little bit more serious. It's not quite as fun. And at first I thought this model lady on the front cover was holding a cell phone, but I believe it's probably like a portable radio. Maybe it was like a transistor radio. And I assume she's probably listening to the Ventures on that radio. But, you know, we get Groovin', Windy, Music to Watch Girls by. It's a great version of that one. Uptight, Yesterday. Georgie Girl was a really fun one. And Sunny, I love that song. Sunny, it's old soul, New Orleans soul. Every time I see a Loretta Lynn album that I don't have, I gotta get it. This one's called Loretta Lynn Writes Them and Sings Them. Like, it always blows my mind how great of a songwriter Loretta Lynn was and how original she was. I believe this record came out in 1970. I'm not sure if it's a compilation. What's the Bottle Done to My Baby? The One You Need. You Ain't Woman Enough. Crazy Out of My Mind. You Want to Give Me a Lift. Wings Upon Your Horn. To Make My Man Feel Like a Man. And of course, it ends with Fist City, one of the all-time great Loretta Lynn songs. And just every time I get a Loretta Lynn record, I'm just blown away, by her voice, the quality of her voice. She's just such a great singer and such a great writer. I mean, all of these are originals on here, as the title would indicate, but that was so rare for a pioneering woman to write so many awesome songs. She really paved the way for a lot of other artists. I'm sure she inspired a lot of other women to to get out there and write their own songs. And then, whoa, this one, the cover's a little beat on this one, but it's Columbia 6i Miles Davis that I don't have, miles ahead. Can't really read it. There's another cover of this where there's a model on a sailboat, but honestly, I'd probably rather see a picture of Miles Davis playing the trumpet on the cover of his own album. Seems a little bit less yacht rock or sailboat rock, if you will. And this album actually has a lot of orchestration on it, which I'm not usually a fan of. A lot of orchestral instruments on jazz albums, especially Miles Davis albums. And my son said it sounds kind of like a Disney movie soundtrack. I mean, of course, it's great, but I sort of like Miles Davis best when he's playing with a small jazz combo. So I'll give this one another spin. And then last but not least, Grant Green, another jazz album on Blue Note. This one's called The Final Come Down, which is like a soundtrack to a blaxploitation movie. This came out in 1972. And you can see the guys on the cover have like rifles and whatnot. And this guy's holding a rifle too. I guess that's Grant Green. It's not your typical Grant Green jazz record. Again, there's a lot of orchestration, but you know, it's on the wonderful Blue Note label, as you can see. You know, it's like very like funky early 70s like instrumental funk. Even the back cover, it's pretty out there. Like it's definitely a piece of art, and I still haven't quite figured out what that is. But yeah, always love going to Atlantic Sounds. The coolest people in the world work there. My friend that works in the back used room, he's always got some great stories to tell. And of course, the last thing that I got there, they have such cool posters. I got my Kinks poster, which is hanging on the opposite wall. And I recently got Dylan's Greatest Hits, but it didn't come with the poster, so I figured I'd buy this little cardboard poster from there. And gosh, this is like one of the most iconic pieces of music art in the 60s. It's Bob Dylan with a psychedelic, colorful hair. It's in silhouette, but he's leaning his kind of head down in sort of like a sober kind of pose, which kind of gives it a little bit of a seriousness. They've got this really, really cool font. It's like kind of a Bauhaus type of font. And yeah, this is going to go hang up on the wall somewhere, but boy, am I stoked to spin some of these records. I've listened to all of these, some of them a handful of times, and I've really, really enjoyed them. So thanks, Atlantic Sounds, for being awesome, and I will visit there again sooner. I think it's been 2 years, and the time before I got the We the People compilation on Sundays. That's another essential Florida garage album, and We the People is one of the great garage bands of the 60s. So keep spinning that vinyl and keep supporting your awesome local and regional record stores. Giant orange, giant orange, giant orange, giant orange, giant orange, giant orange.